Ta-da. All right, we're going to continue our conversation about climates. Yesterday, we investigated desert and tropical climates and their characteristics according to their precipitation, which is their waterfall, their vegetation, which is their plant growth, and their temperature, which we know is hot and cold. Okay, we're going to continue on investigating the 4 climate types by looking at the other 2 that we haven't done, and that is temperate and polar regions. Okay, we in Indiana live in a temperate region, so we're going to see what makes us temperate. What is it about our weather, about our climate, that is characteristic of a temperate region? Then independently today, you are going to investigate a polar region. Okay, the directions are very similar to yesterday. This is set up the exact same way. There's a text to read, there's a chart to complete. We will do the temperate chart together. You will do the polar chart independently. All right. One thing that I do like is that we are going to take a look at those vocabularies that we missed yesterday. Yesterday, we missed the vocabularies because we spent such a long time talking about our Black History Month, which is totally fine with me, but I want to make sure we get to them today. So, vocabulary, this is about land biomes. So these are the different types of living conditions for humans and animals on Earth, also known as our climate regions. Okay, here we are.
Yeah, let's talk about them land biomes. You know what I'm on. We on the land biomes. Whoa. Today we're gonna talk about land biomes, so listen. A biome is a region of similar ecosystems, all with a certain climate and plant and animal life. And the different climates determine what the biome is like. Climate's the typical weather in a particular place. Its main aspects are temperature and precipitation. There are different types of land biomes to explore, and what we're about to do is take you through the major 4. Let's begin with the grassland. They're on every continent except Antarctica, but understand they're called different things. Prairies in North America, savannas in Africa, pampas in South America. They're called steppes in Europe and Asia, and rangelands in Australia. Does that amaze ya? Grasslands can be temperate or tropical, but they all have grass as their primary plant. Watch it, yo! For half the year, grasslands get lots of rain. For the other half, let's just say it's not the same. No. It's very dry and the grass dies, but when it rains again, the grass grows quick, just as high. A biome is a region that's characterized by a certain climate, plant, and animal life. On land there's forest, grassland, desert, and tundra, and you have to adapt to keep from going under in a biome. A region that's characterized by a certain climate, plant, and animal life. On land there's tundra, forest, desert, and grassland, and you won't survive if you can't adapt. Now let's take it to the forest. There are 3 major kinds: tropical, temperate, and taiga. You'll find that no matter the type, their primary plant is tree. Their climate, yeah, they vary by a couple degrees, but that depends on their latitude. And all year round, they mostly have regular precipitation coming down. Now, how about the desert, known for extreme dryness? Less than 10 inches of precipitation. You know why it's often really hot during the day, but at night it gets cold when the sun goes away. Now there's 3 types of tundra. Tell them: Alpine, Arctic, and Antarctic. If you wonder what the climate's like, well, it's cold and dry, with a flat terrain and no trees that we can climb. They're basically cold deserts with permafrost, a layer of frozen soil underneath that never thaws. A biome is a region that's characterized by a certain climate, plant, and animal life. On land there's forest, grassland, desert, and tundra, and you have to adapt to keep from going under in a biome. A region that's characterized by a certain climate, plant, and animal life. On land there's tundra, forest, desert, and grassland, and you won't survive if you can't adapt in a biome. And remember, y'all, these are just the major land biomes. The aquatic biomes include Earth's lakes, ponds, rivers, and oceans.
All right. So that's just a quick review of our different climate regions and types. You guys are familiar with those. We're going to continue on in our investigation today about them. Okay. You are today going to use text features to locate information and gain meaning from a text, okay? So we're using text features to figure out the characteristics of the major climate regions, okay? If you have not already done so, please click on the activities to refresh. Go ahead and click on that add response button. We've reviewed our learning target. We've taken a look at the vocabulary. Today, we're going to continue on by looking at slide 3 for the directions. As I shared with you, the directions are the same as yesterday. We're going to read the text and study the text features on slides 4 through 8. Then on slide 9, we're going to complete a chart about the temperate region. Okay? Let's go ahead and go to slide 9 now. You're going to see that slide 9 actually already has some information filled in for you. Okay? Slide 9 says that we are looking at the climate of a temperate region. The year-round temperature, they are usually not too hot and not too cold. This is what we call mild. Go ahead, if you would, please, and get a pen or a text box and put the word mild, okay? Some of y'all know mild because of Taco Bell's mild sauce, and you know that mild sauce is just a little bit spicy. It's not too much, it's not too little, it's right in that middle area. That's what the word mild means, okay? It's about average, okay? It's got a little bit of spice, it's got a little bit of ease, it's right in that middle, okay? We call this a mild region. Now, some of you are like, it is not mild, it's only 8 degrees outside, that's cold. And you're right, 8 degrees is cold, but it's not as cold as when you think about certain parts of Russia and Antarctica that are negative 100 degrees. Okay, so that is very, very, very cold. So you're right. For us, this is cold right here. But it's not extremely cold. It's not too cold, okay, like it is in other areas of the world. Alrighty. Josh, I see your request. Clever isn't blocked, baby. If you're trying to get on something that's not for right now, it's blocked, but Clever is not blocked, okay? All right. They have average temperatures warmer than 50 degrees. So when you think about most of our time, right, the fall, the summer, and the spring, it's usually warmer than 50 degrees. In the winter time, we do get colder, okay? But most of the time, it's warmer than 50 degrees. So that's about average. It's not hot, it's not super cold. Most of the time, it's okay, all right? Precipitation, there is not a lot of rain and snow each year. Now, some of y'all are saying, have you seen my backyard? There's snow everywhere. And you're right. But we got to remember, polar regions can get up to 4 feet of snow at once. Okay? So snow would be like up to my shoulders. All right? So that's a lot. So yes, we get a lot for our area, but it's not a lot when you look at the whole world. Okay, we get an average of 11 to 79 inches each year. Okay, so that's about a little less than a foot to anywhere between 7 and 8 feet. Okay, and that's over a whole year, not at once. Okay, so here's a little bit of information about our temperate climate. As we're reading, we're going to see if we can highlight information for these facts. Okay. So as we're reading, if you see something about it not being too hot or too cold, we're going to highlight it. About it being warmer than 50 degrees, we're going to highlight it. About there not being a lot of rain and snow, we're going to highlight it. And about getting 11 to 79 inches each year, we're going to highlight that. We're also going to look for information about vegetation. That's plant life, okay? A couple of you yesterday logged into office hours to ask about the meaning of these words, and I suggested that you draw a picture. That helps me when I have vocabulary words that are hard to know. I draw myself little pictures. So vegetation, I got a little plant. And then for precipitation, I like to draw like a water droplet. Okay, and then that helps me remember that precipitation is about water falling. I want the bottom of that to be more round. There we go. Okay, so you can do that too if it helps. All right. Let's go ahead and look up at slide 2. To know which text features we are going to use. Which text features are we going to use and how do they help us? Help me out, friends. 8 and G, what's a text feature you know?
text feature is the table of contents, because it tells you what is on pages that you want to learn about.
Excellent. So if I wanted to learn about what causes wildfires, I would go to page 10. In a nonfiction text, I don't have to read all of it. I can read sections of the information. And in fact, that's what we've done for you on Seesaw. We pulled sections of a book and put them right here for you because we wanted you to focus. This is not the whole book. William, what's a text feature you know and how do you use it?
A glossary, and you use the glossary by finding meanings to the words you don't know.
Excellent. So there are words oftentimes that are difficult to read, to understand, to know about because they're not words that you say every day. Like I actually don't think I've ever used the word topography. But if I want to know what it means, the author includes that in a glossary. Excellent. Terrence, what's the text feature you know how to use?
So when I knew how to use it was bold words, but that goes with the glossary that tell you what words that you need to know
Can you
that are
explain
important.
how bold words are connected to the glossary?
Because it, like for the road topography, is you would go down to the glossary and you will find it. That's why the bold words are there, to show you can look if you don't know the word.
Yes, and I'm glad you know the meaning of that because y'all scared me on Monday or Tuesday. On Tuesday, I gave you guys a little short quiz and I asked you, why does the author include bold words? And some of you guys actually chose the answer because they're the author's favorite words. And some of you chose the answer because the author thinks it's pretty. An author is not going to write a book about climate because they want you to learn about them, right? Ooh, I want the readers to know my favorite words. So I know what I'll do. I'll write a book about weather. Come on, y'all. Use some common sense, right? Terrence explained that beautifully. They are connected because they belong in the glossary. That's where we can find their meaning. Lovely. Camille, help us out, sis.
Title.
Title. What does the title do?
It tells you what the book is going to be about.
Excellent. So if I see the title, what causes different climates, I am not going to be reading about purple unicorns flying through space. As sad as that makes me, I got to look at what the climate is saying. Okay? Awesome. Other text features that we know, there are two left. Who can explain them for us? Two left, two left. I'm going to call randomly. Who haven't I heard from today? Brayden, haven't heard from you. Brayden, tell me about photographs or captions. Which one? Photographs are what? You are so quiet. Is your computer on a pillow?
Can you hear me now?
There we go. Yes, photographs are what?
Photographs are probably like, I would say like main idea for me, but they can show you where you're talking about, like the places that we're talking about. If they don't, like if they don't do that, then we don't know where like we're talking about.
Yes, and it is great that you said they're like the main idea because photographs are a way that the authors tell us the main idea. This title is Different Climates. Camille let us know that's what the book's about. So guess what this picture shows us? Different climates. Here's a tropical climate. Here's a desert climate. Here's a temperate climate. Wonderful. Thank you, Brayden. All right, who's got captions? What are captions and what do they mean? Send Q. What do captions do?
Captions tell you secret information about the things.
Yeah, I like the way you said secret. It's like fun extra information that we can learn that's not necessarily in the text, or it adds more understanding from the text. Beautiful. You guys are experts. All right, let's go use these text features, okay? All righty. Slide 1 is going to go over the same information that we went over on slide 9. Okay, so I'm going to read the text, but we're not going to watch the video. If you want to watch it later independently, that's fine, but it would just be repeating exactly what I just said. I just wanted to do it live with you guys. Okay, all right, get your highlighters ready. Get your favorite color highlighted. Remember, we're going to look for information about its temperature, precipitation, and vegetation, okay? And we're going to highlight information that we find. Here we go. Temperate climates are usually not too hot and not too cold. Boom. We put that in our chart right here. Not too hot, not too cold. That is about temperature. Let's highlight it. Today we're kind of doing some stuff backwards. We've been struggling a little bit on highlighting correct information. Some of y'all have been doing this and highlighting everything in a text, and that doesn't make any sense because then none of it stands out. The point of highlighting is to stand out or highlight important information that you need to know, okay? When you highlight a whole page, all you did was color. You made a pretty picture. You did not emphasize information, okay? So we're going to be looking for the information that we're highlighting today. Next up, we're looking for average temperatures warmer than 50 degrees or information about the rainfall, okay? Let's keep reading. They have average temperatures warmer than 50 degrees. Look at that. Boom, warmer than 50 degrees. This would be important information about our temperatures. There is also not a lot of rainfall or snow all year. Hey-oh, that was in our chart. Look, not a lot of rainfall or snow. Let's highlight it. And notice when I'm highlighting, I don't have to highlight the whole sentence. There is also isn't helpful to me. So I can just highlight that interesting fact that there's not a lot of snow or rain. You can highlight pieces of sentences as well, and just important words. Okay. They get an average of 11 to 79 inches. Woo! That's a lot of rain or snow. I'm going to highlight the 11 to 79 inches. I don't need to highlight that whole sentence. I can, but I've got a lot of orange highlighting on my screen right now. So I don't want to have a whole page that's orange. That's wasteful of my imaginary digital ink. They get an average of 11 to 79 inches or 30 to 200 centimeters each year. But daily temperature and weather can change quite a bit. One day it might be hot and sunny. The next day might bring rain and cold. Y'all live in Indiana, so you know this. You know that weather can change quite a bit, okay? Weather can change quite a bit, even in the same day. There's some days that I wake up and I'm putting on my coat, and then I go to leave school and I put my coat on and I'm sweating before I get to my car, right? We've experienced this. Sweatpants in the morning, shorts in the afternoon. We know that. Now that's also information that we don't have on our chart. We don't have that weather can change quite a bit on our chart. And it says that it's talking about hot and sunny, rain and cold, okay? There are different types of temperate climates. Let's go ahead and add that information on precipitation. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add a text box, and I'm going to put it in both of these, okay? So the weather can change each day. And then I'm just going to turn that. I won't yet so you guys can read it. I'm going to turn that and put it in both boxes because the temperature can change as well as if it's raining or not. Okay, so I'm going to put that in both boxes. The weather can change each day. Go ahead and add that text box. And then I'm going to put it in both because the precipitation can change as well as the year-round temperature can change.
Miss Sue, so there's something wrong on my keyboard. It won't let me type anything.
Try double clicking in that text box. Sometimes Seesaw won't work if we don't double click it. All right.
Well, Susan, sometimes that happens, like when I hit the T, it won't show up. But when I just start typing, it'll show up.
Interesting. Well, that's a good tip to know for us. Thank you. Yes, Aiden G.
How to fix that problem because I had it once. I just signed out on my computer, then logged back in.
That could be a last resort if we need to get there. Yes. Thank you for sharing. Sometimes that reset helps. All right, let's go back up to slide 4. Let's keep reading. There are different types of temperate climates. One type of temperate climate is affected by ocean or sea winds and currents. Areas near the Mediterranean Sea have warm, dry summers and short, rainy winters. It doesn't get very cold. Western Europe and Western North America have this type of climate too. Mild, ooh, there's a word, mild. Temperatures mean lots of plants can grow here. Ooh, that's vegetation. Lots of plants can grow here because of that mild temperature. So that last sentence on slide 4, mild temperature means lots of plants can grow here. Okay. Let's go ahead and check that out on slide 9 and type that. Vegetation. Down here we have lots of different plants can grow here. I'm going to make that a little bit smaller so that it fits inside of my box. Lots of different plants can grow here. Okay. And you guys know this. You live in a temperate climate and you know that even in our outdoor lab, we have a grassy area. We have tree linings. We have a butterfly garden with different types of flowers. We have nature trails where you can see the vines that are growing. You can see the weeds that are growing. You can see all the natural flowers, the trunks of trees that are different. So lots of different types of plants can grow in temperate climates. In desert climates, there aren't a lot of different types of plants. It's usually cactus and tumbleweed, right? And some very deep, deep, deep rooted trees that we learned about yesterday. In polar climates, we're not going to see any plants, okay? And then in tropical climates, we're going to see different kinds of plants. We're going to see very, very, very bright green, lots of bright colors. We're not going to see that in temperate. We're going to see more mild or calmer colors, okay? So the climate region affects the type of plants that can grow. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at slide 5. And again, we're going to highlight information about temperature, precipitation, and vegetation. Okay, slide 5, here we go. Ooh, this says the word grass. I bet this is going to be about plants, vegetation. Let's see. Temperate grasslands. North American prairies are temperate grasslands. These areas have few trees. Around the world, temperate grasslands have different names. They are called velds in Africa. Ooh, look at this photograph. Veld, that's what it looks like in Africa. In South America, they are called pampas. Look at that, pampas. There's the title of that photograph, that little caption. Okay. I also noticed this bold word. If I want to know what temperate means, check out my glossary. Temperate means having seasonal temperatures with hot summers and cold winters. Well, we got that. Indiana's got some hot summers. We definitely have some cold winters. So we live in a temperate climate, okay? We also just learned that one of the types of vegetation in temperate climates are called grasslands. Let's go ahead and add that on chart 9. Grasslands. That's one of the types of vegetation areas. Grasslands. Terrence, a question?
I was just asking, can you go slower?
Sure thing. Thanks for letting me know. Okay. We have read all of slide 5. We're getting ready to take a look at slide 6. Okay, so you've added grasslands. Let's take a look at slide 6. Slide 6 says a steppe is a type of temperate grassland. North America is home to both steppes and prairies. Steppes have short grasses, while prairies have tall grasses. Steppes receive less rainfall than prairies. There's information about our precipitation and our vegetation. So there are short grasslands and tall grasslands, and we call those steppes and prairies. And then we also have an infographic right here showing us the difference in a bar graph format of the amount of rain that falls in a steppe, which is photographed, and a prairie. It makes sense that prairies get more rain because it said that prairies have tall grass. And we know if plants are going to grow, they need to have lots of rain. So tall grass would make sense that they get a lot more rain. Okay. Now that we've highlighted that information, let's go add it into the chart. So I'm going to add on to grasslands, and I'm going to put that there can be short or tall grass. So I've just added more. In those grasslands, there can be short or tall grass, and I'll change that color so it sticks out as the one we just did. Okay. So grasslands can have short or tall grass. There's different types. There's steppes and there's prairies. So we learned from slide 6 that there is grasslands and there is short or there is tall grass. Okay. For precipitation, we already know that there's not a lot of rain or snow. We already know that they get an average of 11 to 79 inches each year. What we just learned is that certain areas get more rain than others. So I want to write that down to show that there can be a difference. Okay, so certain areas get more or less rain. Make that a little bit smaller so we can see it. Certain areas get more or less rain. It just depends on where you are. Go ahead and add that in. All right, let me check out your screens here. Okay, a few still typing. Josh, make sure you get with us on that chart that we're working on. Camille, same. Okay. Let's go ahead and finish up by reading slides 7 and 8 and seeing if we can find any more information that we want to include. Okay, let's take a look at slides 7 and 8. Slide 7 says full of life. From grasshoppers, look at that tiny thing, to bison, prairies are full of life. What other amazing things can you discover about these open, grassy places? Here are other animals that it is common to see in temperate climates. Got prairie dogs, coyotes. We have coyotes in Indiana. Pronghorns. We would have more of a deer type look than a pronghorn look, but it is the same family of animal. Falcons. We have falcons. Several falcons can be observed in our outdoor lab. We don't have any bison in Indiana, but you do have bison as you go out west into their temperate climates. And then prairie dogs.
Miss Sousa,
Yes.
there was a bison at our house yesterday.
A bison was at your house yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a petting zoo come to your house?
No.
Oh, well, there must have been a very large animal in your backyard.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay, I thought so. All right, slide 8. So there's no information here about temperature. There's no information about precipitation. There's no information about vegetation. So let's move on. Ah, look at this. It's a map. Temperate grasslands around the world. So take a look at what this does. This shows you with the number where that location is. So see here on this continent of Africa, we have a number 4, and it matches with picture number 4, and that is an African veld. So that is what temperate climates look like in Africa. Then here in Europe, we have a 3, and that is the Eurasian steppes, which is photographed by 3. So this is what a temperate climate would look like in Europe. There's also a 3 here, which is more of Europe. So Europe, oh, I apologize, and Asia, Europe and Asia, right here. 2, we see over here a 2 in the United States of America on the North American continent. This is what a temperate climate would look like in North America. And then down here in South America on the 1, we see the South American pampas, which are also their name for their temperate climates. Okay. So this is where they are located, and that takes us to slide 9, which means we have finished reading all of our information. So we are set and ready to go. All right, let's take a look at your independent work. Here's your independent work today. Directions are in slide 10. Complete slides 11 through 16 on your own. Read the text and study the text features provided on slides 11 through 16. Complete the chart on slide 17, describing the climate of the region. So the chart on 17 is the exact same as the chart that we just completed, except you are working on the Arctic climate now, okay? So slides 11 through 16 will give you information about the Arctic climate for you to read and highlight and record. I am going to be taking a grade on this assignment today. We had a good day of practice yesterday. Today, I would like to grade your skills. I am grading you on your ability to apply knowledge of text features to locate information and gain meaning from a text. So are you highlighting? Are you putting the answer that matches the information in the text? Okay, so I'm going to be giving 2 points for the answers and for your highlighting. So if you only type answers, you're missing half of your points. Okay, we know fractions, so we know half is 50%. It's an F. So make sure today you are highlighting evidence and typing your answers. Okay? Any questions about the expectation for your independent work? Terrence?
So, there's something else different from that.
What's
You
that?
know, on the slide we did together,
Mm-hmm.
it showed us some of the answers.
Yes, that's why I said it's a helpful slide video for you. Okay. All right, slide 18 is your success criteria. Please finish the sentence. I felt successful today because I was able to, or I struggled today because I really didn't understand blank. Tell me what you were successful with, or tell me what you didn't understand. Slide 9 is optional for you. There is a video for you to see about the climates, and you can feel free to watch that video after you complete your work. Okay? Alrighty, that is your task for today. Oh, I hit cancel. Let me stop